morning, BadBoyHalo.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Did you just say thank you with the voice of someone still in bed at 5 p.m.?
Hi.
Do you want to do the show, yes or no?
After my nap.
What do you mean after your nap? You just woke up! I'm giving you the time of the introduction to get ready, and that's it. The Weirdest Talk Show, where we talk about... What do we talk about again? Oh yeah, we choose a subject, but we don't choose the position we're gonna debate. The Weirdest Talk Show. Almost every Thursday, but most of the time on other days at 5 p.m. EST on Only Hit. Hello, and we are live. Welcome everybody to the Weirdest Talk Show with Bad and Fumaz. Hi, what's up?
Hi.
The camera is showing up.
Hello.
Right
Hello,
now.
everybody. Hi. Hello.
Hey.
Hi. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good. What about you?
I am doing good, thank you. Meh. But I know. I look freshly shaven, no corona beard. Okay, I shaved for the first time in 3 months, so it was very nice. My corona beard is gone. I'm so sad, but that doesn't matter because let's do this. I'm gonna destroy Fumaz today. Fumaz!
Yeah, sure.
Are
like last time.
ready to get muffined? Yeah, like last time. You cheating hacker, you.
I didn't cheat.
Yeah, that's what all cheaters say. Hacker. You guys
Boomer.
may notice that Fumaz does not have a face cam. Therefore, you should make sure to vote for me because of that. Okay.
Exactly.
Just something to keep in mind.
And I promised to Bad that I was gonna put Doja Cat say so if he puts his face cam, so I will. You forgot already? Yesterday I told you I was gonna put Doja Cat.
Oh, I don't remember.
If you put face cam.
Thought I saw a spider or felt a spider. Hold on. Anyway, here we go, guys. Let's begin the Muffiny Muffins. Are you guys ready?
Yes. And Fumaz, are you ready?
Let's do it. Okay, Fumaz, are you ready to get muffin? All right. The topic for today. Let me think. What topic should we go with? I have a couple suggestions. What do you think, Fumaz? Fumaz! Fumaz!
He seems really...
What?
Alright, Fumaz doesn't have an idea, so... I don't know. Let's just do...
What?
We will do... The topic is gonna be... Let me think. The topic's gonna be... How many... The posters are still here. They're just over in this direction. Rather than, like, directly behind me. Because I have a green screen, which I can put stuff on behind you if I want to. Do I want to be in Perry? I can do it. Eiffel Tower behind me. Boom. There. No, wait. There it... Okay, it's not working. But if it was working, there would be an Eiffel Tower behind me. And you'd be like, oh, Bad's in France! And you'd be like, boom.
Internet.
Get muffins. Alright. Let's do it.
Oh
Are you ready for Maz to get destroyed?
Yes.
Alright.
What? No.
Yes, he said yes.
He said yes. He said yes. He lost already.
I said
Alright. Guys, we need a good topic. Somebody throw out a good suggestion. Anyone?
BadBoyHalo.
Yeah.
Should we
Shads,
ban
go ahead.
BadBoyHalo? No, that's a bad
Yes,
topic.
it's an easy yes.
Bad topic. Bad. Let's think. What's a fun topic? What's a fun topic? You know what? I got it. Okay, I'm trying to remember where this is from. But there was at one point on some show or something. I remember hearing a song about weasel stomping. Anyone remember? Let me look it up really quick. Weasel Stomping Day. What was that from? Oh, it's
I
a
have no
weird.
clue what you're-
It's a Weird Al song. Put on your boots. It's Weasel Stomping
What?
Day. You never heard that?
Dad, are you okay?
Never.
Seriously?
Never.
Anyway, the inspiration is what if we made the topic, should we on one day have a blank, right? Should we have a day to blank, right? Ooh! Ooh! The Purge. Have you guys ever seen the Purge movies?
No.
That would be an
No.
interesting debate topic.
It's such a bad topic.
Should the Purge be actually the same thing? But let's change it a little bit. Okay, let's change it a little bit. I'm trying to go with interesting topics. Okay, you guys can't get mad at me. Oh man, why are you say that? No, you're all in timeout. Starting now. I'm just trying to come up with creative topics. Don't give me that look, A60. I see the way you're looking. Don't give me
No,
that.
I was laughing. It
No,
was just
that's
funny, okay?
Haterade. What flavor
What do you
Haterade
mean?
do you want? Do you want Angry
I don't-
Apple
Wait.
or Grouchy Grape? Okay. Well, fine. Since you guys don't like my topics, why don't you propose one?
Mm,
I'm waiting. Go on.
well, I mean, I was just reading the chat, but does anybody have a cool topic in the chat on twitch.tv/onlyhos? Sandolin is like, no, please do the purge, please.
Purge. I
No,
mean,
no
that would be an interesting topic, right?
Bro,
Like-
how would you even defend the Purge? Be serious.
Clearly, that's the point. Is the argument is defending it? That's the point of the show. Coffee or tea? That would be a good topic.
Ooh,
Mm.
I like that.
Oh, I got a
Good
great
count.
idea. Should McDonald's continue to sell breakfast 24 hours a day? Think about it.
I'm trying to think
That's
about
just
how it's
dumb.
debatable. I'm trying to think
It
about how
is
Yeah.
debatable.
That's
how
just-
you can debate
Bro,
this.
Well,
You know, no,
I'm
bad,
just
bad,
trying to
bad.
come up with ideas. Okay.
Yeah.
Roblox
Every time
versus
you eat.
Minecraft. Fortnite. I got it. Is Fortnite a trash game? There we go. That's our topic.
Let's go.
Easy yes.
Is
It's an
Fortnite
easy yes.
trash?
Is Fortnite trash? Wait, are we actually going to debate that?
Bro, no.
Well, I mean, the chat looks like they want it.
Topic.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to be the one stuck defending Fortnite though.
Yeah, me neither. So,
Okay. Okay.
So, let me think. Guys,
do-
throw your suggestions out.
I love how we have a chat that is meant to show on the screen, but there's so many messages.
The chat wants the purge. Let's just talk about the
no,
purge.
no purge. No purge. Listen.
Oh my gosh! Then propose a topic.
What do
Somebody.
you want? I sent you like 300 topics on time.
We could do an OG topic of McDonald's. What do you guys think about that? Or not McDonald's.
No.
We could do an OG topic of what's it called? Skittles versus M&Ms. Do you want to bring that one back?
I've never had Skittles or M&Ms.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Really?
I'm serious.
How?
Well, we don't really eat them in Italy. I mean, it's not like... I don't know. I just don't eat them.
What?
I don't know. I never had them. I never had a muffin either. That doesn't mean...
Okay. I wasn't expecting this.
Interesting.
Well...
The chat is actually wondering how, because I don't get. Okay.
Okay, listen. I never had them. Like, if you never buy them, then you're never gonna try them. And it's... I don't know. It's just...
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it makes sense.
Okay, but let's go through this. You've never had Skittles. You've never had M&Ms. You've never
Yes.
had muffins.
Yeah. Never had cupcakes either.
Never had cupcakes? Are you kidding? I thought
No,
you were
I'm serious.
Italian.
What do you eat exactly? Do you ever eat
That's
anything?
Racist. Well, yeah, I eat, but not.
Explain
What
how-
you leave on Skittles?
you have gone your whole life
Yeah, kinda.
without having any of these 4 essential food groups.
Those are
Explain.
not essential foods.
Yes, they are. You
It's
have
the
Skittles,
opposite. Those are no.
M&Ms, cupcakes, and muffins. Come on.
No.
Have you
listen.
ever had cake?
Yeah, cake. Yeah, obviously.
Okay, there. Cupcakes taste like cake, but smaller. Muffins
Yeah, because it's
taste
a
like
cake in a cup.
but with no frosting. This is amazing.
Okay, then
Have
why
you
don't
ever
they call
have
it
you ever
cake
had a
with no
baguette?
frosting? Why are you asking me this?
This is important to know. I need to know how culturally narrow your viewpoint
How
is.
is it important?
It's important. How are we going to debate topics if I start throwing stuff out and you're like, oh, I don't even know what that is. I've never had it.
Yeah, we need something that... Okay, we need to find a topic.
All right. I got it.
Okay.
Bad, you're
I
just.
don't got it.
The topic is bad racist.
Let's do, I don't, okay, I have nothing against Italians, okay? I have something
Yeah,
against
sure.
you.
You always bully me.
You
No.
haven't had the 4 main food groups.
What do you mean the 4 main food groups?
The 4
It's-
main
it's
food
the
groups: Skittles,
No.
M&Ms, muffins, and cupcakes. How?
No.
How have you
Listen,
not
it's the
had
opposite. No,
each
those are like
of these-
sugary food.
Ooh,
It's not
time
like you should-
zones. Did we ever do the time zone one?
I think we did like a small one or something. Only hit
Yeah.
time
Should we get rid of
zones.
time zones?
I don't
I
see
think we already
anything. Yeah,
did.
I don't see anything on it, so I guess
That'd
we
be a
need,
fun
like,
one.
a small 5 minutes one about it, so it should be fine, I guess.
Ooh, Fumaz. Do you want to do Italy
What?
versus America? You want to do a debate about
That
that?
would get too political. No.
How would it
And-
get political? That would be exciting.
No, listen. That's
Okay,
too
how about this?
controversial.
Italian food versus American food.
Well, I mean, how are you supposed to defend American food against Italian food?
American food is pretty much any food. So,
No, that's no. That's like
considering
saying no.
America is a hodgepodge
You think in
of
Italy we only
cultures.
Italian
Huh?
food. No, we eat every food too. So I could say.
Well, I mean, you don't eat
Okay.
Skittles, M&M's, cupcakes, muffins.
No, people,
uh,
I just don't eat them personally.
Okay.
That this is just the proof that you're racist.
Okay, I want you to name the last thing you ate. Go. I mean, it's part
yeah,
of a
he
meal.
doesn't eat anything.
Not a snack.
what I
what's
said.
What's the last meal you had?
Probably a pizza.
A pizza?
Yeah.
Before that?
Why?
Before that?
No, why?
What did you have before that? Just say it. Say it. Go.
I'm not telling you. What do you
Say it.
want?
I swear
That's
you're gonna
racist.
say spaghetti. What was it?
No.
You literally told me the other day you were eating spaghetti. What was the last meal you had before the pizza?
No. Listen. No. Go away.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, look.
You're just so racist.
Look, I love Italian food, okay?
Yeah, but you hate Italian people. Like
I don't- What's wrong with you? Italian people invented Italian food. How could I hate Italian people?
That's like no. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it does. Means everything. Look, let's go through it.
Are
right
we
now.
seriously debating this?
Yes,
Like,
I
we
think
should
this
choose
is a
topic.
good. I think this is a good
No.
topic.
No.
What? Do you not feel confident enough to? You know what? I got it.
To
You have
win
to
for
defend
your food?
American food. I have to defend Italian
What?
food. Let's do that. You ready?
No. No.
No, we're doing
Why
it.
would I have to defend
Here we go.
Americans? No, listen, no.
What?
No.
Let's flip a coin on it.
This is a...
All right, how about
No,
this?
listen,
Apple
why-
versus.
you should
Let's
be the
all right.
one-
Let's do this. Apple versus Android. Sound good? I'll even let you pick
you
which
mean
side
iOS
you.
versus
I'll let.
Android?
Yeah, iOS versus Android. You get to pick your side. Which do you want to defend?
Android.
All right, I'll defend iOS. That's fine. All right, we have our topic A60. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes.
Let's do it.
Let's go, boys.
Bow, bow, bow. Bidoo, 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 bow.
There we go.
Bidoo, bidoo. Bidoo, bidoo.
See, people are already saying Android.
And you know what? Maybe they're right. Let's find out.
Obviously, they're right. It's my topic, so it's my argument.
All right. Do you want to start first? Or should I?
No, you can start.
All right. I'll start. All right, everybody. I'm gonna be plain here, okay? I think there are benefits to both Apple or iOS and the Android platform, okay? They both have their use case, okay? But if you were going to pick which one you would use for your phone if you had to choose one of them, and you could only pick one, I think you would be crazy not to pick iOS. And I will explain why. Okay? iOS and Android both have problems. Okay? But when it comes to security, ease of use, simplicity, it just working, not being overwhelmed by a bunch of options menus, iOS is the way to go, okay? Androids have a lot of benefit. They have a lot of customizability. But when we're talking Android, what are we talking about? Which Android platform, okay? When you're talking iOS, you know what I'm talking about. We're talking about iOS. Okay, we're not talking about this version of Android or this version of Android or this one or this one. And that's the point. You're talking about a variety, meaning with every distinct phone has its own version, you will get differences. You will get unique parts of it that you may not like or that you may like. With iOS, you know exactly what you're getting because it's consistent across every single iPhone. It is iOS, okay? Is iOS perfect? No. I think there are a lot of things that it does not have that it could have, okay? And I'm not even talking about the phones. Are the phones expensive? Yes, you can get a much cheaper Android phone. But the phones are good quality and you can get cheap phones that have iOS on it, okay? Point is, we're talking about iOS, not necessarily the phones that it's on. iOS is superior if what you're talking about is you just want a phone, you want it to work, so you want it to run apps, have browsers, and be able to watch YouTube videos, whatever. Literally, that's what most people use their phone for, okay? Is for watching YouTube videos or just casually surfing the web or using the most popular apps that will work on Android or iOS. And if you're going with that, I think the majority of people, I know there's special use cases where Android might be superior, but for the majority of people, iOS is the way to go. It just works. All right, Fumaz?
Your turn.
Okay. So what? Wait, is this starting arguments?
Yeah, there's opening arguments.
All right. So before addressing some of the points that Bad made, I would like to just talk for a moment about all of the advantages that Android has. And I'm probably not going to be able to list them all because there's so many compared to iPhones. And well, first of all, obviously, Android is open source, which means everyone can look at the source code, and that may not be something interesting for most people, but what it does is it basically everyone can see what Android does. It's not, no one can see what iOS does in the background, basically, because there's no way. But with Android, you can basically know everything if you know how it works. And if we talk about casual users use, then Android is a lot more customizable than iOS. And when I mean customizable, I mean that you can change the launcher, you can change every app, you can change what app you use for messaging. By default, you can change like, I don't know, the app you use for calling. You can change everything basically. And if you root your Android, which is basically not even important anymore because Google made it so Android can basically, you can basically change most of the stuff in Android even without having root permissions. So Android has become as easy, if not easier, to use than iPhones. And even though, iOS, like, I see one of the points that gets brought up the most is that iOS is more stable. But if you look at an Android phone like the Google Pixel, which is actually a phone made by Google, which is also the same company that made Android, it's as stable, if not more stable than iOS. The reason people say Android isn't stable is because they take for comparison cheap phones which have some shitty Android edit that, okay, sorry. But like, it's obvious that if iOS has to support like 5 phone types, it will be more stable than Android that has to support dozens of thousands. It's just how it works. But if you look at a Google Pixel, since it's made for that phone, since Google actually knows what they're doing, it doesn't have any bugs whatsoever. It's actually a lot more stable than most people would think. And also, are we really, like, iOS is crazy expensive for what it does. Like, in general, if you want to buy an iOS phone, it's crazy expensive. And we can look at the data. The hardware for iOS phones is like way worse than Android phones. And that's just, if you take a $700 Android phone and a $700 iPhone, you will see that in general, the Android phone is a lot better. And that's just a fact. Now, also another point that I like to bring up is that you can't repair iPhones. Like, you always have to bring an iPhone to an Apple repair center where they charge you like $200 just to repair the screen, even more, when you can actually repair Android by yourself, or you can take it to a cheap store where you can get it fixed for a lot less. And one way that we can see that Apple is trying to make their phones only repairable by them is that, for example, in an iPhone, you couldn't change the fingerprint scanner. You had to, like, I remember this because at the time I knew a friend who had a...
Do I win?
I think he just timed out. He just timed out.
Let's wait for him to come back.
Italian internet. After French internet, Italian internet.
So
Anyways.
we're gonna wait for him to come back.
Do we do a short song break, maybe? Or I don't know.
User entered your channel.
Hey,
Never mind, he's back.
Hi.
Alright, Fumaz.
Welcome back.
My connection... Wait, where... How long did you hear me for? Because I
don't
talked for a
know.
while.
You were talking for quite a bit.
We heard you, and then suddenly you were like starting to lag. Then you stopped lagging, and then just right after
sorry.
you timed out.
Well, what was I talking about?
You were talking about
Android
sensors.
Oh, okay, yeah, we can. That's my final closing. No, initial argument, I guess. We can go on.
Okay. Thank you, Fumaz. All right, guys, remember, we're getting into the meaty portion of the debate, the more intense portion. Remember, anything we say in the debate show, it's not necessarily our actual opinion. We're just debating this topic for fun. Okay? All right, here we go. Fumaz, I'm just gonna say that you brought up something about the open sourceness of the Android software being a good thing, but don't you think that's a bad thing? Because anyone can go and look at the code, write malware for it much easier for Android devices than they can for Apple devices.
No, no, no. It's the opposite because anyone
Really?
can look at the code, find bugs, and fix them. No, yes, that's exactly what happens because how often
Exactly.
do you see an Android
Anyone
phone
can
crashing
find
because of a
bugs.
strange Indian character sent to it? Never.
There have
iOS
been plenty
if
of
your argument
Android
was
bugs
correct,
that
then
have.
iOS phones wouldn't crash for a single character.
No, listen. Just because you can find examples of there being bugs on the iOS doesn't mean that there haven't been equally as damaging bugs on Android devices. The point is,
list
a
them.
lot of Android devices are
If
significantly
you don't
less
like data,
secure.
then
But
no, that's not
you're
true.
talking about
it's
one
been, no, it's been
iOS
no, it's
platform.
been proven that open
There's
sourceness
literally
is a good thing.
there's
because,
literally
no, listen.
hundreds of different Android platforms.
Do you know? No. Listen. Do you know
Yes,
how
yes,
much
yes.
Google pays? No. Do you know how much Google pays for people to find bugs in Android and report it to them? They pay
Yeah,
a lot.
and Apple pays money for bugs too. So what? Bug bounty programs are things
on
that every
Android,
company has.
People who report bugs can also fix them because they have access to the code. In iOS, it takes a while to fix them. You have to really to wait until
because
next major release.
it doesn't take a while because literally they released a patch to the recent Apple jailbreak in literally the span of a couple days, okay? Or less. It might have been less than a day. The point is Apple patches
Open
this
source
stuff.
is not a bad thing.
Apple patches serious bugs quickly, okay? The code is locked. It's much harder for people to find bugs. With Android, when you say specific Android versions, what version are we talking about? There's more secure Android versions and less secure Android versions. Because there's literally hundreds of different ones because of the different branches and forks that people make of it.
Google enforced security patches to all phones that they license a few years ago. So every phone, even if they have an old Android version, they're gonna have security patches.
Okay.
And also, you're saying that open source is bad is just stupid because
I did not say open source is bad. I said in this instance it creates a problem.
No, it doesn't, because the code is peer-reviewed. More people can look at it. More people can detect issues. More people can find the issues. And even though there's gonna be some people who find the issues and use them for bad stuff, there's gonna be a lot more people who find the issues quickly and report them. Well, on iOS, to actually find an issue, you first have to create it.
Yeah, but that's the same with Android. If you find an issue...
No, you don't have to create it. No, you don't have to create it.
Here's the thing. It is much easier to, if you have the book in front of you, it's much easier to open it up, read through the code, and go, oh, look, looking at the code here, I can see that this is a problem, and a malicious...
that's exactly the point.
A malicious actor can take advantage of that. Yes, it makes it easier for good actors to find bugs, but if someone wants to exploit a flaw, they can look for it, find exactly how to do it, and then they can implement that flaw.
I don't think...
Do you disagree?
I don't think you know how this... No, yes, I disagree. Because I want you to find a single instance in the past few years where Android crashed or like had some
keep
problems.
Going back to one particular character.
I'm saying, find me an instance where Android has had a problem of the same caliber or worse than iOS has. And you can't, because it's simply not how it works.
Okay. You want me to look?
Look at data here.
I will look really quick.
Okay.
Huge number of Android phones. Oh look, Slack for Android, Android. Here, I'm looking right now. Oh wow, Android alert. Google Play Store apps pose massive risk.
That's not true at all.
I'm reading articles. I don't know. Huge
Google
number
Play
of
Store apps are
Android
reviewed
phones
before.
vulnerable to critical trust zone bug.
Yeah, source. I don't care about worse. I want to have the source where you're getting this from.
Breaking.
Because if it's like
Samsung's ARM trust zone bug. This is from January.
Samsung isn't Android.
Qualcomm T bug in many Android phones can
Okay, Qualcomm
expose
is a hardware producer.
critical
That doesn't make
data.
Oh my god. You don't know what you're talking about. Qualcomm is a
All of
hardware
this,
producer.
no. If you're gonna talk about if you're gonna hate on the iOS platform, the
I
phones
haven't
themselves,
hated on iOS.
which is what you did. You pointed out how the phones were expensive. You were hating on the phones. Then you cannot deny flaws in Android phone
I was objectively
hardware.
looking at it. The phone is expensive for the hardware it has. That's just objective. Because the hardware that it has doesn't cost that much.
Oh look, 2017. They attacked the ARM trust zone using Rowhammer.
That's still not Android. That's still
That is
not
Android.
That's not
Yes,
the
it
software.
is.
No.
Yes, it is.
No. Oh my god. That's not the software though. That's like saying someone. Okay, whatever.
Wired says 146 new vulnerabilities all come pre-installed on Android phones.
Yeah.
Do you know
I want the source.
Do you know Android has antivirus software for your phone? Do you know that?
You know that doesn't do anything and it's just spyware.
That's the point. Is they
No
have
serious
it.
person
There are
installs
people.
an
No, there
antivirus.
are serious companies. I'm not talking about fly-by-night spyware companies. I'm talking about companies like Bitdefender, AVG,
Yeah, but what those
Avast.
antivirus do is basically nothing.
All of these companies sell Android antivirus software. Why would they do it unless there is a demand for
useful.
it?
No, because
hold on. With an Android phone, I can pretty much install any app I want to. Okay? Which is an advantage. I will say for some cases, that is an advantage if you are sitting there and you're like, I have an app and Apple won't let me install it. Oh, Android will. Boom. I can install it. I can go around.
Oh, that doesn't mean
Hold on.
no, because
But
no,
guess what?
listen.
You cannot do that in order to do that with an Apple phone, you have to first jailbreak it, which goes against Apple protocol. They don't want you to do that. But if you jailbreak, hold on, let me finish.
On
and
Android,
then you can
by
go.
default, you can't install apps by.
Yes, you can. If an app is not available,
that. So
no,
if
exactly. If an app is not
good enough to install apps that you don't know,
but that's the point. It's way easier to do it on a Android phone than it is
but
on
it's not
an iOS phone.
You have to do it yourself.
No, but if you want to do it on an iPhone, you literally have to go and jailbreak your phone. Okay? It's much harder to do it on an
That's
iPhone.
not true. You can install. No, that's not true.
Yes, it is. It is true. Apple will not let you install apps on your phone unless they are in the App Store pre-approved.
You can install .epa files on iPhones without having a jailbroken device.
If you're in developer mode, you can.
That's the same exact thing. On Android, you have to toggle a flag that basically means, are you sure of what you're doing? And on iPhone, you have to basically declare that you're a developer.
Yeah, and so on your Android, you can literally just go boop, flick. All right, I'm gonna install this shady piece of software. I don't know. I know a bunch of people who have installed antiviruses on their Android. I don't know anyone who's installed an antivirus on their iPhone. Okay, I'm just making a note there. iOS is significantly more secure. It is definitely a different type of security than comes from the open source Android software, but it is a type of security.
No,
okay?
Android
it's different.
is based
I think
on
it's
Unix,
better.
so it's a lot more secure than computers like Windows, for example. just because it's based on Linux. And even then, there's no viruses on Android. Literally, it's like if you actually get a virus on Android, you're either going on some really, really, really shady websites, or you're not listening to anyone. Because like Google Chrome has built-in security features where they don't let you download shady stuff. Then your phone tells you not to install it, and then most phones nowadays have some sort of check where they like check the signature of an app when you install it anyway, and they tell you like, no, you shouldn't install it. If you actually ignore all of these, then you kind of deserve getting a virus because like you're ignoring everything they tell you.
And you know what?
Listen, you can't say that human stupidity is why iOS is better.
Let's go into if anything, that's exactly one of the reasons why iOS is better. Do you know why?
No, it may be better for the like.
I use the Windows platform. Okay, I love Windows, but for my phone,
can get viruses.
For my phone, when I just want it to work, I don't want to have to futz with anything, hassle with anything. I use iOS. The reason why I use iOS is because it literally works. I don't have to worry about crazy viruses for it because they close their platform down and they lock their app store down.
Dude,
okay?
It's as easy to use, if not easier than iOS.
Tons of vulnerabilities in the Google Play Store because they do not lock it down nearly as tightly as Apple does with their App Store. Okay, Apple App Store is significantly more secure. That you cannot deny that. Don't even try and deny that. You know that for a fact.
$100 a year to publish anything.
The point is, it's significantly more secure. Are there costs to that benefit? Yes.
No,
there are. But that's the point, is that
it's not.
Yes, it is. There have been way more problems with the Google Play Store than with the Apple Play Store. You cannot deny that.
Or an iOS phone, or even a Windows phone when they existed.
Who would ever use a Windows phone? That is ridiculous.
Argument. You can't just say just because that's not taking into account the fact that people should be responsible with what they download. If you download a shady app that has 0 reviews, 0 stars, and that has 0 downloads, then
they should be responsible. But that's the point, is people are dumb. So if I am going to recommend a phone to somebody, what do I want to recommend them? An Android?
Then give iPhones to dumb people and give Androids to people who know how to use them.
No, the point is, what am I going to recommend to someone? An Android phone that all they have to do is turn one thing off, and they can be a total dummy. Or am I going to recommend Fumaz? We can't keep talking over each other. Let me go, and then you can go. Okay. What am I going to recommend? A phone, an Android phone to someone where literally if they want to do something stupid or install something stupid, they just tick a box or flip a control, and then they can do all the stupid stuff they want. Or am I going to recommend someone an iPhone where if they want to do any of that stupid stuff, they have to be significantly more technically savvy, right? They have to be able to jailbreak, or they have to be able to go into developer and do all that stuff. It's significantly harder to mess up on an iPhone. And that is why I'm going to recommend this to people who I know have the potential to do stupid stuff. And for the general person who just wants to use it to watch videos or surf the web, this is perfect. Go.
No, listen. What you're saying is that your friend is dumb, that you think your friend is dumb enough to just go around and mess with settings they don't know about. Because if I have a friend, I assume that they are smart enough to know how to use a phone. Like, I just assume that they know.
Go on.
What? What do you want?
Oh, were you done?
No, I just said that if you actually tell someone to buy an iPhone because you think they're dumb, basically. You said you think they're dumb. You think they're gonna You're gonna
It's
screw
not.
up.
It's not that I think people are dumb. It's that I think people don't want to have to hassle with that. I'm fine with that hassle
But they
on
don't
Windows
have to.
because I'm technically savvy with Windows stuff. Okay, but I'm not going to recommend to my grandma to get a Windows computer. I'm going to have her get an iPad. She doesn't have the technological savvy to deal with any of the problems on Windows. Or she's not even going to have the time or the means to deal with it. It's the same with the iOS. The iOS just works. It has the simplicity. It has the ability to interact with all the other things I'm going to recommend for my grandma. It has all of the major apps that people use. It just works, and it has all of the stuff that they need to do without a lot of the problems that come with the Android platform. When we're talking about Android platform, what phone am I even going to recommend to my grandma? There's literally hundreds of different phones with different things and different vulnerabilities, different types of Android software. Okay? It works so much better to just say, hey, grandma, here, use this, and then she's going to use it, and it's hands off, don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about her checking a box and installing a bunch of viruses, calling me up and being like, Bad Boy Halo, I got a virus on my phone. Help me. I don't want to have to deal with that. I'm sorry.
If you actually know anyone who actually ever got a virus on an Android phone, they could be a candidate. Like, that's... you don't know anyone who ever got a virus on an Android phone.
I literally could probably Google it and find a bunch of people who have.
No, that's just dumb. Because, listen, what you're saying may be right. Like for for your grandma, probably iOS is better just because.
Here's an article from 5 hours ago comparing top 5 antivirus apps for Android smartphones. Here we go. Viruses have been a thing to fear in the world of personal computing for decades.
App
but it's just as important to protect your Android device as it is your PC. Hold on.
There's antiviruses app on iOS too. That doesn't mean they work. But that's the point.
You don't see top 5 virus for iPhone. No, you don't.
Yes, you do. You can search best iPhone antiviruses, and you can find.
And look, when I look it up, I don't find top 5 Apple iOS virus.
I do.
No, you might see like a article here or there. No, there's literally article after literally. No. Go search up virus on Android phone and then search virus on iPhone and look at the different number of articles that comes up. 5 ways to remove malware and virus from your Android phone.
It's true.
Literally, look at this. Remove Android charging boost virus.
User joined your channel.
France's virus.
You don't know what you're talking about. That's
France's virus tracking app chalks up 600,000 downloads. This is on the Android platform. You cannot deny it, good sir. Viruses are much more problematic.
Very well
with the Android platform. That is set in stone. Get that weak stuff out of here. This is the part of the argument you will lose.
It's not.
Yes, it is. And your flat denial of it, rather than acknowledging it,
deny it all I want because
a flaw in your argument. Yes, it is true.
No, that doesn't prove anything. That doesn't that
it is true.
Nothing. That proves
it is true.
No.
Yes, it is.
If you search vaccines are bad on the internet, you will find a ton of articles saying they are. It doesn't mean they are. If you search flat earth on the internet, you can find tons of articles that say the earth is flat. Doesn't mean it is. I'm talking about speculation.
No, I'm talking about main.
No, you're talking about speculation.
Mainstream. I'm talking about mainstream articles, okay? And if you go and look, if you just type in iPhone virus, you will get a third as many results as if you type in Android virus. This is not something you can deny, okay? iPhones have significantly fewer problems with viruses. You might be able to make an argument
Androids
that
have
the
no problems with viruses.
that the benefits of the Android platform outweigh the risks, but you cannot deny that risk. And that is what you're doing, sir. And I say
you're just going on about random stuff. First you said that because of what you're saying doesn't make any sense, because there's viruses on iOS too, and actually on there's a lot more. Just because you can find articles about viruses on Android, that doesn't mean they are common. It's that it makes a lot of clicks when someone actually gets them. But to get them, you have to actually not care at all about what you're doing.
Okay, Fumaz, let me ask you this. Who uses phones?
Me.
You do. You know who else uses phones? Kids.
You.
The elderly. Teenagers who aren't really thinking. People who are not technologically savvy.
And that is why Android
you were
has
speaking.
made...
You were speaking from the position of a developer. Okay? You are speaking from the position of someone who is very technologically savvy. And so am I. You and I are much more technologically savvy than the average user. Okay? And the point is, kids who now need phones in order to stay in touch with their parents, keep up to date. Now more than ever, literally every kid has a phone, okay, once they reach a certain age. Kids need access to, or kids are significantly more likely to do something stupid with their phone, install something stupid, not realize that what they're doing or the app they're installing is problematic. People who are less technologically savvy are also more likely to do that. The elderly who aren't as caught up on all the do's and don'ts are more likely to do that. I am saying that a large portion of users are more likely to be the ones to install something stupid, which is much harder to do on iOS.
Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Listen, Bad. This is why Android has implemented security features against this stuff. And this is why on the Play Store, there's an option to disable installing any app that is not Google Play protected. What that means is that it's been analyzed by Google itself, and it has been proven to not be like a virus or something. And even then, find me a single app that is a virus on the Play Store, and I'll give you $10. It's literally... Google is not dumb, okay? If Android had these problems this evident, then it would be
Here we go.
By anyone. And
Strandhog 2.0, critical Android flaw, allows app hijacking, data theft. How old do you think this article is?
What?
How old do you think this article is? The title I just read.
I don't know.
1 week ago. Okay? 1 week ago, Google just issued a patch for a critical vulnerability. Okay?
Yeah, and 2 days ago, Apple released a new iPhone update for important security fixes.
Exactly. Exactly. And that is my point. That is exactly my point. The point is, both of the platforms are going to have security problems, but there is no doubt that the issue is this. While the platforms themselves, Apple is going to have its flaws built into it, Android is going to have its flaws built into it. The simple fact is it's much easier for the user, the person who is using the phone, to screw up with an Android device, okay? And with the amount of less and less tech-savvy people using phones, that is a big problem. If you're going to recommend to someone who is not technologically savvy, which is a lot of people who use phones, what phone they should get, Apple all the way, or iPhone, iOS all the way, because what you're saying to them is it's significantly less likely they're going to screw it up. Which, if there is going to be a problem with the phone, it's most likely going to be on the user end. So I'm just saying this is an unarguable thing. I think you should just acknowledge that Android have this problem and just focus more on the benefits that outweigh that risk rather than trying to say that Android does not have this problem, because that's where the direction you're going and you're just flat out wrong.
No, okay, listen.
I use Windows over Mac, and I will acknowledge Windows has a significantly higher security problem. Even though I like it better, it is much more risky security-wise than the Mac system, than the Mac OS. Okay, I can acknowledge that. The same is true with Android versus iOS.
Okay,
go ahead.
Continue
what you're saying.
Let's change the topic. I can agree
let's
with
change
a part of what you said. So that is, it's easier for the user to screw up on Android. I still don't agree with some of what you said, but we can change the topic because this is getting repetitive. So one big part of why I don't like iOS is that you're closed in the Apple ecosystem. So, for example, you can see this very clearly because when you, for example, when I use Google Docs on iOS, you can, but you can't use Apple Pages on Android because Apple keeps all of their ecosystem closed to their own devices. So if you previously had an Android phone and you want to switch to iOS, it's very easy. But if you want to switch from an iOS phone to an Android phone, it's very hard because you will not be able to use the same apps. And Google released basically all of their apps for iOS too, while Apple, all it does is keep them closed for their devices only. And what it creates is basically a system where you have to buy a Mac to be able to integrate with your phone, because that's basically how it works. You have to have an Apple account, you have to have an iCloud account, and it basically closes the entire system. You can't it's very hard to make an iOS phone collaborate with a Windows computer.
Okay.
Well, you can easily make an Android phone collaborate with a Mac computer, for example.
Okay, I agree with you that is a problem with the Apple infrastructure, but that's more of a problem with Apple. Apple not sharing their apps across multiple devices is an Apple problem. And if anything, arguably, if Google is sharing all of its, I think that shows that Google is a better company than Apple as far as being able to share their programs and technology. But I would say that it doesn't, if anything, it's a +1 in Apple's department, because there's going to be programs you can use on the iOS that you won't be able to use on any other platform because Apple isn't letting other platforms using it. I think that's something Apple should stop doing it, but while they're doing it, there you go. That's another benefit for iOS. There'll be apps on here that Android's not going to have.
Yeah, and there are a lot more apps on Android that iOS doesn't have because Apple costs a lot more to develop on. You can't create iOS apps unless you have a Mac computer. While you can easily create an Android app from Windows, from Linux, from Mac, sorry. And that's the entire problem. On iOS, to publish an app on the App Store, you have to pay a fee of I don't remember exactly, but it was $100 a year. Yeah, on Android, you just pay a one-time fee of $25. You see how it's different. Android is a lot more oriented towards developers because it allows them to do a lot more stuff, whereas Apple is a lot more strict on this stuff. And this is basically what you were talking about earlier too. But we have to acknowledge that that's also a bad thing because it doesn't allow for innovation. Because if someone has a great idea for an app and they know how to develop it well, but they don't have $100 a year to maintain it and also to get it approved on the App Store, then they can't really get it to the general public. And that's exactly the problem. Apple should reduce the cost for publishing apps, and they should be a lot more
And we are losing Fumaz again.
lenient on who can develop what. They should allow people on Windows to develop apps for iOS.
I see what you're saying, but the majority of people are not developers. Yes, that's a developer problem. But it's not a casual user problem. And we're talking about the casual user. We're talking about at least I am. I'm saying if we're talking about which phone version people should use, it should be what benefits the majority of people. Which one's better? The one that benefits most people, and right now that's iOS.
Bad. The thing I'm saying is not that because it isn't. What I'm saying is it's not only bad thing for developers, it's bad for the general users too, because they have less and less apps than the Android counterpart has, and they have less options. They are closed in an ecosystem that will basically never open. Because do you think Apple is gonna be like, oh yeah, let's release all our apps on the Play Store, or yeah, let's make it so people can develop apps from Windows 2 anytime soon? No, and this limits a lot of developers. This effectively limits users from what they can do.
True.
So it's not
it does limit developers, but what it also does is it increases security. There are trade-offs for everything, okay? Yes, you're having limitations in what developers can do, but you've increased security for the user. And so what Apple has said is we're going to make it harder on devs, but we're doing it in the interest of the user, okay? And maybe I'd say there's compromises we could do, but I think right now I would rather have a secure phone with fewer apps than I can install, okay? As far as, cross-platform, rather than have a phone that is potentially going to be less secure. I'm just saying, I think the user is of higher priority. I understand it hurts devs, and it shouldn't.
But what I'm trying to say,
what are we going to do?
Is that not all the security things Apple has put in the way are actually for security. For example, why can I not develop an iOS app on Linux or on Windows? Why do I have to have a Mac? That's just a closed ecosystem, and that's not something that was built for security.
That is a problem, but what are you going to do? That doesn't necessarily affect, that's just a development problem. That doesn't affect whether or not the iOS or the Android architecture is better. How does that affect the casual user? It doesn't. So it's irrelevant to the casual user. Anyway, I think we've gone on for a lot longer than we thought. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into closing arguments. Okay, Fumaz, do you want to go first or second?
No, you can go first. I've talked for a while now.
Okay,
so
I'll go first. All right, guys. Here's the deal. Fumaz has raised a lot of good arguments, okay, for why Android is good. He's also brought up a lot of good problems with Apple that should be addressed. The developer issue is a serious problem, and I agree. Forcing people to write apps for the iOS on Mac makes no sense. You could easily open it up to Linux or open it up to the Windows platform so people could develop from there. However, the problem is none of that really matters to the end user, okay? The end user doesn't care that it was harder for someone to write the app for their program or for their phone. They don't care about that, okay? As far as the end user, what they are concerned with, is my phone going to be secure? Is it going to work? Is it going to let me watch my favorite YouTube videos? Is it going to let me just search the web? There are a lot of problems with the iOS platform. There's a lot of problems with Apple, with iPhone in general. But you cannot ignore the outrageous advantages and the outrageous benefits when you compare iOS with Android. And that is the crux of the issue. For the average user, the iOS phone is just strategically a better phone. And you can get the latest hardware in the latest phones in older frames that are still new and big and have really big phones. Okay, it's the iPhone SE 2020. So if you don't like the cost, there are alternatives for those people who don't like the cost. You can find super expensive phones, right, in both the Apple and the Android platforms, and you can find cheap phones in both the iOS and the Android platforms. The point is, there is a cost solution for everybody on both platforms, but at the end of the day, when you're looking at security, you're looking at the average user. iOS, hands down, has a bunch of advantages for the average user. I'm not saying the unique special case where Android really is the only option, but for the average user, iOS is the way to go. And I think I've shown that in this debate. Go ahead, Fumaz.
All right, so I think that this debate could have gone better had we addressed more points, because we really only talked about one thing, and I acknowledge that's probably my fault. But I would just like to say a few final thoughts. So, a lot of people don't really know how security works, and they think that Android has more problems just because it is more open. And while that's partially true, it's not really that true because of the way Android works. And I'm not gonna get into that because otherwise it would take another hour, but I'm gonna talk about something else. So Apple in general is a company I don't really like that much, and it's not just because of iOS. It's just because of their closed nature. Everything you buy from Apple is really closed, and like in general, it's not as open as other companies. And also the fact that people still associate iPhones with ease of use is a common misconception, because modern Android phones from modern companies are easier to use than most iPhones are, and that's controversial, but it's kind of true. You can see that, and like I said before, there are a ton of advantages on having an Android phone, because it has more customization. If you don't want to customize it, you can just not customize it. On Android, if you want to customize it, you can. It's not like you have to customize an Android phone. You just have the chance to do it. And another big problem for Android phones is that, for example, remember when Apple really removed the headphone jack? Well, that was just a stupid idea on their part, and this is something that Android phones didn't do. And I mean, I have an Android phone. I still have my headphone jack. So also, one part that Bad told me is that he wouldn't know which Android phone to like give their grandma, for example. Well, to that I say, the more the choice, the better, because you have a lot more choices and you have more competition. And the entire reason Android phones are cheaper is because there's competition. The fact that Android is open means that any company can get a license from Google to use Android in their products, and that opens up competition. While iOS being closed and being only usable by Apple devices makes it so they can set the prices fixed and no one can basically argue with them. So that's another point. The reason Android is cheaper is not because it's worse, it's because there's more competition. And another point is that most iPhones nowadays, I'm not really aware of modern iPhones, just because I don't like look at them that much, but modern iPhones still have far worse like hardware than flagship Android phones have. And like a lot of people like to compare like Android phones camera quality to iOS devices camera quality, but what they do is they take a like very cheap Android phone and then they take the latest iPhone and they compare those two, when actually if you compare same price Android phone and same price iOS phone, 99.9% of the time, the Android phone has better characteristics overall. And even the battery, because like a big problem with iPhones is that even the latest iPhone has a very, very small battery capacity than Android do. But the thing is, most people don't care about this stuff. I know. Most people just want to use what's easier. Most people just want to use what they already know, and so they don't like exploring, like I do, for example. But this is just like my opinion. Android is great because you have the chance to customize it if you want to, and you have the possibility to just leave it as it is if you don't want to. Well, on iOS, you are stuck on one of these sites. And yeah, I'm probably not gonna go on because it's taking too long, but this is just my final argument.
Thank you, Fumaz, for summarizing the entire debate in your final argument.
Okay, sorry. Sorry.
All right. Okay. Because Fumaz literally just went on, I'm gonna make my last closing sentence a teeny bit longer. Fumaz brought up the headphone jack thing. That's a platform thing. Literally has nothing to do with the iOS versus Android thing, because literally Samsung removed their headphone jack on their latest phone after mocking Apple for doing it. They literally did the same thing. So kind of irrelevant.
Google didn't do it, but okay.
Hey, my closing statement, you muffin head.
Okay.
But I think, look, Fumaz brought up, again, a lot of advantages to Android. There are a lot of advantages and disadvantages to both Android and Apple. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because iOS, when we're talking about the average user, is better. Okay? And I think I've objectively proven that in the debate. Okay? Just my thoughts. Closing argument, done. All right. It is time, everybody. We are going to vote. I'm going to throw a vote on Twitter, a poll, while A60 throws one on Twitch in the chat. So go ahead and vote in both of those. I am posting it now. Who won, Fumaz or BadBoyHalo? Remember to vote for who defended their argument the best. Not who you
who you prefer the most.
In the poll, I meant argument the best. So go ahead.
So we're gonna
here we go, guys. Go ahead and vote. Remember, if you like Android or you like Android or iOS, it doesn't matter. Just vote for who defended theirs the best. We're gonna go for a quick, and then we'll be right back.
Doja Cat, say so right now. Doja Cat. That'll say so on the hits. And you're still listening to the Weirdest Talk Show.
Hi. Alright, we are back. Fumaz, did you see the results? Won, right?
Okay, you don't have to.
Thank you, everybody, for your support. It's nice to win. I appreciate it. Hugs for all of you. Y'all get big hearts. Thank you, everyone. Fumaz, you did a really good job. I enjoyed that debate. That was fun. I love debating stuff like this, so that was enjoyable. What do you think, Fumaz?
Yeah.
How do you think that debate went?
I don't know. It was funny debating it. Yeah.
It was. That was a fun debate. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna say whether iPhone or Android is better. I think they both have. I mean, this is my real opinion. I think they both have. Advantages and disadvantages. I personally use iOS, but that's just me. Why that is, I don't know. So anyway, that's pretty much it. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Fumaz, you did good. Just want to say that. I know that I won the debate.
You did good too.
But you did really good job. Round of applause for Fumaz, everybody.
GG.
Round of applause. Anyway, all right, guys. That is pretty much it for the debate show. Thank you guys for coming. Fumaz, is there anything you want to promote?
Follow me on Twitter at RealFumaz.
Follow him on Twitter at RealFumaz. Check me out on Twitter at Saints of Games on YouTube. BadBoyHalo on YouTube. That's pretty much it. We'll see you guys next Thursday. Will we have a face cam? Again, maybe, maybe not. Will Fumaz or whoever we debate have a face cam?
Maybe.
Maybe, maybe not. I guess we'll have to see. Alright, guys, I love you all for coming. A60, take us away.
Yep. We are a bit late, but Cindy Scott is coming right now with some of your best hits as usual. Thank you so much for listening to your favorite hit music station. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Deezer, Google Podcast, iTunes as well, Spotify, pretty much everywhere, and on the YouTube channel of Only Hit. You just type Only Hit or the Weirdest Talk Show on YouTube, and that's pretty much it. Goodbye, everybody. Say goodbye. No?
Bye.
Yes. Goodbye.
Bye.